Hi, I'm Dan Schreck from Viam. Welcome to our Basic Business Intelligence Training Series. This series will provide a broad overview of modern tools and methods that are transforming business intelligence, leading to increased return on investment and better decision making. In our first video, Intro to Modern BI and Analytics, we explore why good BI practices matter more now than ever, what's driving market changes, and a couple examples of good and poor BI practices. In our second video, we discuss how cloud data warehouses, newer integration tools, and data catalogs are creating transformative changes in BI. And in our third video, we'll review the limitations of a couple tools, such as Excel, and highlight how visualization solutions solve many common problems and help increase return on investment and create an environment for better decision making. You ready to go? Let's do it. Before getting started at Viam, we specialize in HR and people business intelligence and analytics, all the data management and integration that goes along with that, as well as working and consulting on related HR and human capital management applications. So we may occasionally discuss BI in the context of HR, but you'll find these videos applicable to all areas of business intelligence, sales, finance, etc. Now, we define BI visualization as the rendering of data in the form of tables, graphics, dashboards, and other forms to communicate information. The output is typically called an analytic or report. But let's clear up some basics about analytics and reports before we move on. As the saying goes, a picture's worth 1,000 words, right? Now, analytics try to convey information about data graphically via bar, pie charts, box charts, line charts, geospatial graphs, word clouds, a bunch of other creative visuals. And since we're defining analytics, dashboards are just a group of analytics, but they have a limited scope so they don't overwhelm the user with too much information. Now, statistical analysis or data science methodology is way beyond the focus of this video, but let's at least cover the basic categories and types of analysis. There are two primary categories, descriptive and inferential analysis. First, let's talk about descriptive analysis. That's, as the name implies, describes what happened across an entire population. For example, based on all open positions, your company may show 197 candidates came from LinkedIn, 63 from Indeed, and so on. This, of course, doesn't explain why candidates from college, in our example, have a lower quality of higher score. For that, we turn to inferential statistics. These are often the result of more complicated mathematical methods that examine the relationship between variables in a sample population and allows you to infer conclusions about a larger population. Now, there are many types of inferential statistics. For example, there's exploratory data analysis, which focuses on identifying patterns in data to find unknown relationships. There's causal analysis, and that helps you understand why things have happened. And predictive analytics, as you would guess, use a mathematical approach to make predictions and forecasts. This often involves machine learning. And there's mechanicistic analysis, which is less frequently used in BI. It attempts to understand the effects of changes in multiple variables. And finally, prescriptive analysis attempts to prescribe or recommend answers or follow-up actions. While you can call any analytic a report, not all reports are analytics. So I want to make a distinction here since a report is such a vague term, and BI teams often have to create paginated reports. Now, we specify the phrase paginated reports for visualizations consisting of raw, unaggregated data, typically in a tabular format. A paginated report is formatted as a page and is printable or downloadable, PDF, and Word, etc. And a pixel-perfect paginated report, often called a statement, means it's formatted to be very neat down to the pixel. These often require multilingual, regional formatting of dates and currencies for global organizations. A good example of a paginated pixel-perfect report is your bank statement or an employee statement containing employee's name, job title, salary, etc. So we made this distinction since in most circumstances, separate visualization tools are required for report building versus analytics. So the ideal visualization tool that we want should offer engaging visualization options for a wide range of users, from data scientists to your average self-service user. and it has to allow for advanced statistical analysis capability backed by AI and machine learning. And that usually requires integration with R and Python scripts. It has to also have mobile-focused designer and navigation for ease of use on phones. And it has to be user-friendly and intuitive. This is even more true for those organizations developing self-service BI, where users from all backgrounds may create their own ad hoc reports. And it has to offer extensive data tools, including integration with data lakes, data warehouses, data marts, applications that are popular like Salesforce, Workday, SAP, etc. That includes metadata management, modeling, and ELT tools. And it has to do that with role-based, row-level security. It should also feature collaboration tools, so data analysts, developers, and others can easily share data sets, analytics reports, and dashboards. And there are unique capabilities, of course, required by paginated pixel-perfect reports and statements, such as multilingual output and advanced formatting, etc. We don't usually expect that from a single analytic kind of tool. Now, before we discuss some of the leading visualization tools, let's first discuss two of the more common visualization tools. Okay, most of us are familiar with Excel's basic capabilities. Its ability to both store and analyze data, as well as its sheer popularity, make it a go-to first choice for business intelligence. In fact, at Viam, we do use Excel quite a bit, spot check our analytics or use it to store small data sets. But of course, Excel has its limitations too. And that includes the inability to accommodate large data sets. Although it's improved in recent years, it's still limited. Related to that, in some situations, it can suffer from poor performance. And it has limited visualization user interface options. And automation and other tasks are often very manual, or they sometimes require VBA coding to automate. And Excel will continue to be best suited for small analytic jobs or a piece of the puzzle in larger BI projects. If you're using Excel for important analytic work, you may want to question that, because you'll probably find many of these modern BI tools to be easier than you think. Now, our second common BI tool is those that are embedded or built into the application, such as your core HR, your ERP, or any kind of application you have, usually has some kind of embedded BI tool. So all too often, many organizations simply rely on reports and analytic tools embedded into applications. Almost all application vendors have some BI capabilities, so why not? Hey, if you need a certain compensation report, you go to your compensation system and create it, right? Well, that may make sense because these BI tools are often free, though sometimes you get what you pay for. At Viam, we've created a ton of reports and analytics using these embedded BI tools. And that sometimes makes perfect sense, and it's the right way to do it, especially if you want to be able to change data and see those changes in real time. Then using these BI tools may be your best option, as it takes time for changes in data from an application to be refreshed in an external BI system. However, you'll recall in our video on modern data lakehouses and integration platforms, they can achieve near real-time analysis and reporting, making this benefit of embedded BI tools less relevant. What about the cons and drawbacks of embedded BI tools? There are a lot. First, embedded BI tools within an application reinforces siloed information. Your compensation application just has compensation data, your recruiting application just has recruiting data, etc. And application vendors are not BI vendors. Application vendors typically don't create BI tools, they just embed third-party code into their application. We're very familiar with this third-party code in many cases, and a lot of times they lack a lot of features. For example, years ago, we created an analytic for a client using embedded BI tool. It took about 10 hours. Recently, with a modern BI tool, we were able to create a nearly identical one in 20 minutes. That's a huge savings. Embedded BI tools make it more likely you'll require specialized and expensive technical resources or training from the vendor, whereas the popularity of many modern BI tools make for abundant and typically much cheaper resources. And the number one reason? you're locked into the vendor's ecosystem. So when you change your application vendor, there goes the analytics and reports built into it. And folks, I can't recall the number of clients that I have seen spend hundreds of thousands of dollars each to redevelop reports and analytics they used to have just because they changed vendors and can no longer use those analytics and reports. That is a waste. All right, so what did we learn? Excel has occasional use and it fulfills several of the ideal capabilities shown here. Notably, it's very user-friendly. It has a mobile version, but it also has quite a few drawbacks. And embedded BI tools, they're kind of a mixed bag. There is some that have some user-friendliness and self-service capability. Probably their best use case is where real-time reporting is required, and it's not cost-effective to do that with a data lakehouse. And then paginated reports is kind of a little oddball. Sometimes embedded BI tools can handle paginated type of reports and sometimes not too well. Now let's take a look at a few other modern options. Unlike our data lakehouses, where there are few significant vendors, the visualization market is vast and it's been a bit more evolutionary in its progress. In fact, to date, there's no single tool that we recommend that's equally capable of creating both exceptional analytics and pixel-perfect reports. So let's briefly highlight a few major analytic vendors first. There's Microsoft Power BI, which combines powerful analytics and user-friendly interface at a low price point and may be ideal for self-service needs. Strong points include third-party developed plugins. It's got numerous data management features and integration and code reuse features. Power BI also has strong ties to other Microsoft tools and platforms that serve nearly every possible analytic and business intelligence need. However, its best use case limits it to Azure Cloud. And perennial powerhouse Tableau offers similar features, though perhaps at a slightly steeper learning curve than Power BI. Like a lot of others, it has powerful built-in metadata management features, and Tableau Prep application offers a visual tool for cleaning, preparing, and shaping data. Sisense claim to fame is in its natural language processing integration, and its drill to anywhere navigation, where it can dive deeper into data by clicking or drilling down into an analytic. For better performance, Sisense has a unique proprietary analytic database they call ElastiCube, which is a columnar database, much like our data lakehouses we covered in our second video. ElastiCube must be run on-premise or locally, and some users find it a little bit less user-friendly than other systems. Now, Qlik offers a suite of related analytic products, including a full-fledged data integration platform and a metadata management tool they call Qlik Catalog. Now, their older QlikView and their newer Qlik Sense are built on what they call associative technology. It means they automate associations and relationships between data objects, as many of these others do. And finally, acquired by Google in 2019, Looker takes a 100% software as a service approach, whereas the others have a desktop and cloud versions. Unlike Power BI, which has to be run on-premise or on Microsoft's Azure cloud, Looker can be deployed across any cloud platform, Google's own, Azure, or AWS. Like most leading vendors, Looker has automated data model generation, and they have notable features including a central metadata layer which defines key business rules, metrics, and user permissions, and it has integrated Git version control. So these are some of the stronger offerings, but of course there are many, many more vendors and open source tools that have to be employed for good reason. The requirements for many paginated reports typically necessitates the need for tools that offer multilingual translation and currency capabilities, advanced formatting features for pixel-perfect display like the ability to hide certain elements based on logic, and the ability to print or export, particularly to a PDF. Though there are numerous vendors in the market, there has been little advancement in recent years with these tools, so we'll only cover a handful of the most common. First, in a confusing step, Microsoft labels their paginated tool Power BI Report Builder, which should not be confused with Power BI, the analytics builder. and the service. This is more or less Microsoft's old SSRS report builder. While Power BI Report Builder is a free tool, it requires Power BI services to run. One of the older names in reporting, Crystal Reports, now a part of SAP, can generate multilingual reports and has long been a standard for paginated reporting. And OpenText, formerly known as Actuate, offers one of the few truly open source products with their business intelligence reporting tool, BERT for short. It offers nearly all the Crystal reports and Power BI report builder features, including multilingual, multi-currency features, and supports Java and JavaScript languages. By the way, BERT is the embedded BI tool used by several HR tech vendors for analytics and paginated reports. Nice free tool, but hardly an analytics powerhouse. So now let's see some examples of how these analytic and report tools meet our ideal capabilities of a modern BI tool. Newer tools, as shown here, have features such as cross-filtering, where you click on one data point and it filters other analytics by that same dimension or category. And these modern tools allow customization of colors, fonts, and graph types from one to another quickly and easily. Some even allow self-service users to pick particular analytics to add to their own personalized dashboards. Older tools often required modeling, algorithms, and processes to be built with separate tools to create advanced analytics. However, visualization tools are rapidly including built-in AI capability. For instance, forecast graphs for employee engagement or requisition time to fill over a period of time with their predicted ranges going forward in the bluish gray you see on the right side of the graphs. One of the coolest things is these type of built-in capabilities are often dwarfed by advanced analytic plugins and extensions from the vendor or third parties for regression analysis, clustering, classification, and so on. And these tools also include integration with R or Python for nearly any type of advanced analytic you may want. Many current tools have design options to create mobile-specific displays. Some, like Power BI, allow you to share visualizations or filters and slicers between desktop and mobile displays. They also provide features like bookmarks to make it easier to navigate. And a few have native mobile apps, which typically results in a better overall user experience versus HTML and browser-based apps. When it comes to user friendliness and fit for self-service, it's sometimes a mixed bag. Some of the tools we mentioned are more suited to data scientists, developers, and analysts, but a few are friendly enough for casual users of all kinds to easily create or modify analytics. Now, our focus is not to do a deep dive on modeling, data refreshes, security, master data management, and all that. So this is going to be brief. But modern visualization tools all work with predefined models from all kinds of data stores, application databases, etc. And semi-structured data from CSV, JSON files, etc., and unstructured data, or a combination of all these at the same time. Now, most of our leading visualization tools provide some level of metadata management, and of course, most provide data security features like role-based security, which is absolutely necessary for BI self-service. Bottom line is, they have many of the same features as integration tools. For instance, they have pre-built connections to hundreds of popular apps, data lakehouses, data warehouses, Salesforce, etc., and options to control how often data is refreshed. Now, most modern vendors automate much or all of the building of data relationships, object types, etc. that we see here in our model in Power BI. This differs quite a bit between vendors. Looker, for instance, creates this using a version of SQL. Nearly all leading tools detect dimensions or qualitative data versus measures or quantitative data, making calculations and analysis that much quicker. Now, these tools let you transform data, as we see here with Power BI, allowing you to define data types, redefine them if needed, filter out data, and more advanced features similar to Excel. As you can imagine, the bigger the team or project, the more collaboration is needed. And most modern tools have a variety of features to help. For instance, integrated messaging apps or features to share by email or embed analytics in other web pages. In many cases, you can provide access to project, data sets, analytics, dashboards, and more. These features also vary widely between vendors, with some like Looker also throwing in unique features like integration with Git for version control of your code. As previously mentioned, paginated reports have unique needs that require Power BI Report Builder that we see here, or Crystal reports, or BERT as shown here. Now these may be very necessary tools, but they really don't advance our BI return on investment as they have not changed in many years. Let's recap. Now, as mentioned before, data lakehouses, modern integration tools with metadata tools, these all introduced in our second video. These help reduce cost and effort in today's convoluted data environment. Their ability to scale means they deliver near real-time analytics with either large queries or large number of queries from a number of users or a large number of self-service users operating concurrently. In this video, we had a very quick taste of how visualizations also help in a complex data environment. And perhaps more importantly, with their ease of use, their advanced engaging analytics, and the automation they have, all aid in faster, more accurate, and more engaging BI. Now, with all these tools at your disposal, increased return on investment and better business decisions are in your hands. All right, thanks again for watching, folks. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your colleagues.